Um, Wanted to share some ideas with you today. Um, for quite some time now, I've been thinking about making some edits to the note on the screen. My note, Philosophy of Extreme Complicity. The thing within which I'm trying to express in the most condensed form, in the most concentrated form, my vision of many things that seem to be important, in my opinion. Yeah. And why was I thinking about editing them? As it says in the beginning, it is solid idea, but it has not very long, but some amount of text within that. And I've been thinking a lot about what would I choose as a single phrase, one word, two words, to express the same idea in even more compressed form. And I looked through the text a lot, and I realized that in the initial edition of that, there is actually two words which are written in a capital letters, and these two words are here, and these two words get there. By get there, I mean get to the content of your wide mind, to your unconscious, and to transpersonal, to the content of mind at large. And I am not actually saying a lot about what for and what is the goal. And I actually kind of do that intentionally, because I think that maybe there is no universal goal of that. Maybe it will be and can become the part and the result of your personal investigation. I mean, once you get there, you'll be able to find out why you need this and what these can provide to you. So I'm not very eager to say about the goals, so let's leave that, okay? But today I wanted to show to tell you and to show you some data about getting there. Actually, I selected 3 personalities which are very much related, who are very much related to this idea of getting there. And here they are. This is John Lilly, famous American physician and neuroscientist, inventor of deprivation camera, deprivation tank, which he invented and tried on himself, and actually I'm putting him here because all his life was very much at a great intersection with the research of wider mind. He experimented a lot on himself, and his life has a great intersection by dates with the time when LSD appeared on the scene, and so he immediately started to experiment with it as well. So it was deprivation tank, it was LSD, and it was they were both of them together, and this was the experiment of his whole life. These substances, these other ways of getting there, actually, you know. So the important thing is that for him it was lifelong experiment. Did he get there? Obviously he did. A lot of times he had a profound experiences of different types. A lot of them wrote books about that, gave that a lot of thought, and this was his life, the whole life. The life dedicated actually to this action, to getting there, which I'm saying here, this model in the philosophy of extreme complicity. It is what I'm saying. It get there. So he did it for many years, so many times. The second guy, famous for absolutely the same, American philosopher and ethnobotanist, Terence McKenna. Again, one more enthusiast of that getting there. Substances, LSD, other ways, a lot of experiences, a lot of altered state of consciousness throughout many years of his life. Okay? So this is example number 2. The third one, Stan Grof. I deeply respect this guy. I love his work. I love his book. I love the style of these books. I love and appreciate a lot the tremendous cartography of inner spaces that Stanislav Grof created and expressed in his work, in his books. And again, in this case, Stan Grof also gave 40-50 life of his for 40-50 years of his life to these studies and to the experimenting with himself and as the observer of activities of many other peoples. But the most important thing that Stanislav Grof, as well as Terence McKenna and John Lilly, had a lot of getting there, had a lot of profound experiences of that type. So why did I put those 3 guys together and presenting them to you? I did that to show that yes, I could express this philosophy in these 2 short words, like get there. And that is important, extremely important. But when I look at those 3 guys, which are very bright examples of that getting there, behind the scene, behind their back, there are thousands more experiencers, experimenters, people who use substances, meditations, anything. So they actually get there. It's not something not available or not happening or rare nowadays. It happens. And it happens a lot. And a strange question that I would like to put on the scene here would be the following. And so what? I mean, okay, these are the examples of people who got there a lot for many years. And so what? First of all, of course, it was like inhale, exhale, that they got there, they got back. They got there, they got back. And so what? The thought here is that sometimes, and a lot of examples of that, it is nothing. You get there, you get back, you can write fancy books, you can create complex ideas, but the question of integration, which I mentioned here as well. So if we search for that, integration. So that's what I'm saying here. Once we have a model, once we have the area where we get there. And so what? Obviously, we obtain some experience, and then having that experience as a part of our new updated memory, we go back to everyday life. And what I'm saying here is that we need to integrate, and this thing is not guaranteed, absolutely not guaranteed. You may have a lot of experience, but when you come back, did you change? Did something change in you? Actually, truly, deeply? Yes or no? It's not guaranteed from the experience itself. It's not guaranteed by getting there. And we must acknowledge that it may not happen. So I've been thinking that instead of getting there, in my idea being emphasized, this integration part must be emphasized actually. But I gave it a thought, and I decided I cannot do that. I cannot do that, because if for getting there, it's not easy. Getting there is not easy. Those guys with their research, they made it more accessible to wider public, to wider audience, to wider amount of experiencers. But integration is not guaranteed. I mean, what I mean by integration, because there is, strict, precise psychological sense of that, usual usage of that word integration. And you need to, think of your experience. You need to write them down in your diary. You need to embody them into your daily life, into habits, into your attitudes, and so on. That is not what I think integration is. It is the simplest form of integration. And integration is actually mentioned 2 times here, and the second time is here. Yeah? When I am saying that integration, going from these practices, very, very, very often is limited, which is to lessening of some neurotic and psychotic symptoms. It's rare. It's in the Grof context more, when it's treated like psychological help, psychological practice. It often have very profound effects for these severe symptoms, which is amazing by itself. But this one aspect. Second aspect, very often, very common aspect coming from that experiences, is that people who came back begin to build theories about the world, and these theories differ from what they came into that with. Yeah, so you come into that as materialists, you get out of there, and you say, okay, I was wrong. I have a different theory now. So this is a change of intellectual attitude to the world. But this is not, I don't want to underestimate these kind of changes. This is interesting. This does happen, and it has its value, but it is extremely unsatisfactory. And what I'm saying here is that integration tends to be zero, just zero in other aspects. What I mean by other aspects, I mean, did something change in your body? Did something change in the way how you interact, genuinely interact with the outer world, with the environment? Do you have these changes in you? Can you heal people? Can you, this term from Hinduism and Buddhism as well, yeah? Siddhis. So, superpowers, so-called superpowers. Which both of this tradition describe as possible. Both of this tradition describe them as consequences of very profound, deep inner change of personality. Deep and profound. And then you have these, potentially have these siddhis, not as the goal, but as the inevitable side effect. So what do we see from the data? They are never ever presented. Almost never ever. So extremely rare. To some degree, somewhere, sometimes extremely rare. Why? Why is that? This is something I call a lack of integration. This is something I call indicators. These are indicators. Absence of these profound changes means that inner journey, I cannot say it was not successful, it was something, but the absence of that means that wherever you are in this process, which is not, off-on states, yes, it's a process, and wherever you are in that process, and whoever you are within this process, you probably missing something extremely important and deep. Whatever you have in your process, whatever you achieved, whatever you experience, the absence of that profound changes is the lack of integration, and it is an objective indicator of that your path is extremely far away from its, I don't think it has end actually, but it means that you are missing, not having, not achieving, or maybe just imagining, in most cases, imagining your achievements, thinking, theorizing about them, but not having this on the table in front of you. Absence of these profound changes are indicators of lack of integration. Meaning, if we had lessons to learn while getting there, maybe we did not succeed yet. So I'm not saying these indicators being zero, showing 0, 0, 0, 0, so we have nothing. These indicators are important to estimate other people who claim to achieve something, because looking at them you can have objective information. Did this guy saying he is enlightened, anything like that, achieve anything? He says yes. He says inside him he's so profoundly changed. Okay? But profound changes seem to need to have external expression, the ability of that expression, the presence of its side effects inevitable. The absence of that means no. Whatever this guy thinks about himself, whatever he tells about himself, he did not have the profound or any inner state which would express itself in the form of cities. No, he doesn't have that. And it means something. It's important. And it's not only for estimation of outer people, which is important because a lot of people target us to become our guru, teacher, something else, to get something from us, to ask us to follow this person and saying about his profound states or knowledge or what he achieved or what he knows from these altered states of consciousness. So they are claiming to be ready to be leader and have followers and to go somewhere together. So in that case, these indicators, the absence of these outer indicators related to that person means that whatever he says, he or she says, no, he does not actually have the profound inner states to do any claims of that kind. And the most important thing is that the same set of indicators is the most profound and important thing, is applicable to yourself, because mind is very capable of tricking itself into the belief that, okay, I have achieved, I had so profound experience, I know so much, my vision of the world now is perfect. This vision, is just alteration of attitude, as I say here, yeah? But it is tiny, small, and no significant change. It is nothing, actually. It is so... I can build these theories without any experience, without getting there, just basing on the materials that humankind accumulated throughout its intellectual history. I can build these theories without this experience, and I'm not changed, and they are not changed. So my claim here is that integration is the problem, the main problem. It is not a problem to get there. It is a problem to understand why we do not change after getting there, after getting so profound experiences. So much of that experience as these three guys had, Stanislav, Terence, John, so much of experience and no change. They were in the end of their life. So Grof is still alive. I wish him all the best, good health. He's an old man now. Two others already passed away, but Terence in the beginning and Terence in the end, they do not differ a lot. They are the same. John in the beginning and John in the end is the same John, extremely stable, with no changes. Which means getting there is not the mystery. It will provide extreme experiences, profound, beautiful, a lot of knowledge, a lot of new information. But all this knowledge, all this information can magically turn into nothing when you come back to your everyday life, to your normal state. Why? That is the mystery. That is the subject for investigation. And yet I have decided not to emphasize this integration part. Why? Because I think getting there is the action. It is something that you can do, applying the method, applying your will. But integration of the kind that I described is not a subject of doing something. It is a great mystery. It is a subject to investigate why this integration does not happen. in so many aspects. And it is not something that you can force. If you write something down in your diary, beautiful. You can contemplate on that, and it makes sense. But actual, true, genuine change in you happens or not happen, not because of your actions, but because of something else. And what is this something else? It is a huge mystery. It is a huge, actual, true core subject to investigate. And I do believe these are the true indicators, which when they one by one show 0, 0, 0, 0, everyone should look at that indicators in others and in themselves and have their mind extremely clear to say, no, I'm not there. I have not achieved something. And I have not finished. I need to continue. That was the idea I wanted to share with you today.